Guys, what's up? Just thought I would do another quick video review on my one and only trade today for Friday, December 22nd. And like I mentioned in my previous videos, the last few weeks, I was kind of bouncing all over the place. I've decided to just focus on reversals, and I'm taking just reversals out of the open. Something like this, exactly what I look for is 3 or more consecutive 5-minute candles. Which is considered a parabolic move. And then I'm looking to the larger time frame, which is either the hourly, daily, or weekly, looking for a level of support or resistance. And I found this level right here. It's a weekly level, oh, excuse me, daily. And it had just a little bit above average volume, and it was extended. BMY, I did look quickly to see if there's any news on it. There wasn't anything that I could see, but it was over 2 times past its ATR. And the reason I got into this trade was exactly like I said, it is parabolic, and it went into a larger time frame level. And so I quickly established that level. This was a call off my scanner, and then what I will do is mark my stop position, and you can see with just a little bit of a slight late entry, but I made up for it with this ad. And so yeah, so it was a tight stop, and my stop, generally speaking, is roughly 8% of ATR. And I'm only trading stocks that my scanner calls are things that I have on my watch list, or 50 million float, and you have to have a rather tight spread. And then also, depending on your account size, you will need obviously a larger account, anything 50, 60, $70 and over, if you're trading with a tight stop like that. You know, like I said, 8%, 5% in some cases. Even for myself, it's a little bit too much. And so I got into this trade. And what I've been doing is incorporating, volume profile. And this again helps with my confidence, helps me hold on to the trade longer. And if you look at my entry level, or my stop was 53.50. And here we are, right here, 53.50, or around now, let's say right here. And so when it hit that level, you can see there's really nothing in here. There's not much volume. And what I would normally look for is these gaps, or what they call low volume nodes, into these shells, or something like this, which is VPOC. That's something I can get into later. But I look for small gaps like this, and I will run it to that gap and kind of see how it reacts, what happens with price, where are we in relation to the 9 EMA, the VWAP. What does the level 2 look like? And I do use Bookmap, so I can kind of get a look at the order book in general, just kind of see where the orders are sitting. But once you start to do this for a little while, you can see, and I know they're not supposed to do this, but there's spoof orders that come on the book, and they would scare me out before. Even with some of these really quick moves that would bounce around my level, I would instantly cover or sell, just because I was afraid that I would lose. And again, with time, you start to build confidence, you start to hold the trades longer, you start to know what to look for. Are you around a whole number, are you around a quarter or a half? These are all psychological levels. Where are we on the VWAP? What did it do on the VWAP? Are we above it? Are we below it? What does the SPY look like? And you start to combine all of these things together, and it's a huge confidence booster. And so like I said, I held this trade as long as I could, and I pull this back over here. Yeah, so you can see it's still kind of just bouncing around VWAP. It's just kind of mirroring what the SPY is doing right now. So we had this big push up at the open. We had this engulfing candle, which is, I was waiting for just a little bit more conversation. I was waiting for just a little bit more conviction. I wanted to see exactly what the price was going to do, because I really don't know what the SPY is going to do. We are approaching all-time high, so I thought, are we going to make a run for it today? Is it going to hit that all-time high and then reverse? And so I liked what I saw on the tape. I also liked what I saw on the 2-minute, 5-minute. It's a beautiful candle right here. We had volume into the level, indecision, well, not indecision, but almost like a shooting star. There's really no body on this. And then you can see where I waited for that slight overlap on the 2-minute. It came back up, rejected, and then all the way down. These kind of things also would scare me out before, these little ranges that they will trade in. And this can happen from time to time. I am reading Wyckoff right now. I'm getting back into it and how this works on the larger and smaller time frames. But the more knowledge you have, the better you are in most cases, not all the time. But I found with myself, what works best now is just simplicity. I think simplicity is key to trading. I find that myself, I tend to overcomplicate things. Initially, when I started, I had DOS, TradingView, which I still use every single day, but I also had Squawk, I had Benzinga running. I followed so many different people on YouTube and so many different influencers. I would study charts day and night. Then I had Bookmap, and I had just so much noise in my head. I couldn't, I literally couldn't even breathe, but I liked it. And including podcasts, I've had podcasts in my ear nonstop. But what it did for me is it gave me almost like a false sense of confidence. I thought the more that I learn, the more that I know, the less I'll be wrong. And it's just not the case in trading because it's probabilistic. And you have to get uncomfortable. And this is the weird part. And I don't think a newer trader really understands what it means, or how emotions play such a huge part in this game, because you can be on top of the world, you can have a huge win streak, and then you start to accumulate a few consecutive losses, and it kind of it'll test you. It'll test you on an emotional level that something you've never dreamed of, especially if you're relying on this for full-time income or looking to transition. It adds an added or extra layer of pressure. And so if anybody's watching this and they're looking at finding a setup or finding a player, getting into day trading, if I can, please take a word of advice. Start with one setup. First of all, start in sim. Start with one setup and try not so much to master it, but try to trade it for a few months. Even if you can have a live account and set your risk really low, $4, $5, $6 a trade, just so you have a little bit of skin in the game. Because I promise you, when you have a little bit of risk on the table, the whole game changes. And when you first push that button or you first take that trade, you'll see exactly what I mean. There's a million thoughts that would go through my head. Am I going to blow up the account? Is my stop going to work? You have and I have a lot of screens here, and I use these prior to what I was doing before trading. But it will test you on every level, and you just have to experience it. You have to put time on the charts, you need time on the screens, and that you just have to find what works best. And that's just, again, time and testing multiple strategies and coming to the market day in and day out, trying to maintain a positive attitude. And it's something that is very, very difficult. This is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. But when it works, when you can start extracting money from the market and making a living off this full time, and being able to support your family, and you will eventually have a little bit of extra time and you find your way, I promise you it'll be one of the greatest things, and you'll be so happy that you stuck with it. But if anybody has any questions, I am running a Discord, or you're interested in potentially looking at how to trade these setups that I take. I do offer one-on-one mentoring. I have a few spots left. You can just send me a DM, comment below, or shoot me an email, or check out zprotrader.com. And I hope that everybody has a great holiday. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope you had a great trading day, and I will see you soon. Peace.